Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today, let's talk about a South African comedy and romance movie. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to help the channel out. Our story revolves around the life of Dineo, and her best friend and roommate Noni. Dineo is a successful social media expert who works for a social media firm, but she struggles to maintain a long-lasting relationship. Noni, on the other hand, is a successful account manager, but she is freewheeling, and is dedicated to the life of singlehood. In the first scene, we see Dineo at her workplace, then we see a delivery man deliver a parcel to her from her boyfriend. Since it's Valentine's Day, Dineo takes it as her boyfriend sending her gifts. She goes on a live video stream, and then she hands the phone to her coworker Pam. When she opens the bag, she sees it's her personal belongings. She also sees the delivery men bringing the rest of her belongings, then we realize what is going on. Her boyfriend just dumped her. The comments section on her live stream starts flooding up, so she hurriedly tells Pam to stop the live video. 3 weeks after, we see Noni in a nightclub, dancing and making out with every guy she likes. She goes to the women's room to meet Dineo, then we see her still stalking her ex-boyfriend's Instagram page. Noni tells Dineo to get out of the toilet and go look for a man to have sex with, but Dineo says she needs to be loved and not be someone's sex mate. Noni manages to get Dineo out of the bathroom, then we see her in her car hurling insults on her ex for dumping her for another girl. While she's in the car, she's seen by a man in another car. His name is Lunga. Lunga offers her some liquor from his car, but she refuses, meaning she's not in the mood to get high. He then offers her some wine, then she finally agrees to drink with him. While they are talking, Dineo brings up the topic of being dumped by her boyfriend, but she stops herself, saying it isn't good to talk about her ex with her new man. Lunga picks up on this, but Dineo retorts by saying her friend advises her to try and get over her ex-boyfriend. Later on, we see the pair on the roof of the building. Dineo tries to take a picture to get back at her ex, but Lunga stops her, saying that he'll prefer she doesn't. The two eventually end up making out on the roof, then we see them on the bed the next morning. We also Nino, who had a nice time with random guy over the night. His name is Max. Meanwhile, Dineo wakes up to see Lunga still sleeping. She starts admiring Lunga's looks while in bed, and then she takes pictures of them together. When Lunga wakes up, he quickly tries to put on his clothes, saying that he's late for his flight. He gives Dineo her clothes, telling her to dress up, but she asks him if she's been thrown out of his house. Trying to get rid of her without troubles, he tells her to stay, but she should leave the key with the security afterwards. Days later, Lunga comes back and hears some clattering noises in his house. He becomes afraid and then takes up his umbrella, trying to protect himself against an intruder. When he gets inside, he sees it's Dineo, and then he reproves her for being in his home without his permission. Dineo says she just came to make him dinner because he was coming back from his trip, but Lunga explains to her that what they had was only a one-time fling. Dineo becomes emotional, trying to take her leave, but Dineo stops her and apologizes to her. The two end up getting intimate again, and then they start dating from then on. One day, Noni quizzes Dineo about her boyfriend's private life, but this only makes her cranky, so she checks his friend's Facebook page, and then she sees that he just lodged in a hotel. They reach the hotel, and they manage to get the suite where Lunga and his friends are having a party. When they get into the suite, they discover that Lunga is about to get married to another girl, and this is his bachelor party. Dineo becomes heartbroken on hearing this, so she leaves the room with her friend following behind her. Later on, Dineo meets Lunga and his fiancée Gugu in a restaurant and tries to confront her, but Lunga stops her and takes her outside to speak with her. Dineo asks Lunga if what they had was real, but Lunga explains that he was only with her because they were having fun. This breaks Dineo further, and then she goes to bar with her friend to get high. Max and Nino manages to bring a drunk Dineo home, and eventually persuade her to go to her room. From then on, Dineo and her friend go on a sequence of partying and drinking, with Nino urging Dineo to find a man to get intimate with. After a few months, Max asks Noni on a karaoke date, but she reproves him. He remains persistent, so she finally agrees to go with him. While at the karaoke night, Max tells Noni to go upstage and dance with him, but she refuses, saying that she doesn't sing for anybody. Max takes up the mic from the person singing, and then he gives the audience a wonderful performance, with Noni obviously finding him more attractive. Later on, Dineo decides to go on a dating app to look for her perfect man. On the first date, she's matched Leroy. Leroy appears to be an annoying fellow, with bad table manners, so she strikes him out. On her next date, she's paired with Tebza. Tebza is no better than Leroy, and so is her 11 other matches. Meanwhile, we see Noni already getting fond of Max. They go on different outings and date nights, while also trying to hide their relationship from Noni. After a series of disappointing dates, Dineo decides to get a place for herself. While they are checking out an apartment, they meet Lunga, who is also there to check out the apartment. Still trying to get over their breakup, Dineo slaps Lunga before walking out on him with her friend. Afterwards, Lunga invites Dineo out for lunch, then he tries to apologize for what he did to her. She gets angry and tries to walk away from him, but then he tells her that he got divorced. He also tells her that she's the one he is in love with, but Dineo rebuffs him and walks away from the restaurant. Afterwards, Dineo sees Noni and Max on a date, then she realizes her friend has been keeping her relationship a secret. Noni tries to deny being in a relationship with Max, but Dineo sees through her lies. She tells Nino about Lunga wanting them to work things over, but Nino advises her against it, stating that Lunga will only break her heart. This eventually gets the two girls in a scuffle, then Dineo walks out on Nino. Cut to a few days later, Dineo makes up with Lunga, and then we see them together at the park. Max organizes a double date with them, but Nino is too angry with Lunga to speak with Lunga. When she does, she eventually ends up abusing him, which in turn gets Dineo and her in a scuffle. She goes to their house and takes her things, planning to move into Lunga's place. Cut to a few months after, Lunga has resumed with his sneaky attitude once again. When she follows him to the hotel where he is, she calls up Noni and explains everything to her. While they are talking, Noni sees that it's just his parents he came to see. When she tells Noni about it, she finally opens up to her. They've all planned a surprise birthday party for Dineo, and Noni is on it too. During the party, Lunga proposes marriage to Dineo, but when everyone is expecting her to say yes, she refuses his proposal and walks out on him. When he chases after her, she finally tells him that she has fallen out of love for him, and she's not ready to be in a long-term relationship with him anymore, or with anyone else. She gives him back his ring and walks out on him again. After a few months, Dineo decides to get her own apartment. We also know Noni and Max rekindling their relationship, meaning she's ready to stick with a man. When Dineo checks Lunga's Facebook page and sees that he's already in a relationship with another girl, she smirks at the revelation, meaning she has made peace with herself and accepted singlehood. If you like the story, please subscribe to help us out. Also check out other interesting stories on our channel.